Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fillies and gentlecolts, and welcome to the third edition of Autumn Breeze Reads. I honestly did not think I would ever get to three, so I'm thankful for that. Today, I will be reading I'll Protect You by Lilsane. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Uh, so, without further ado, let's get into it. My human. It's been little over a month now since she arrived. All she ever does is sit on that hill, staring at the mountains. Maybe this is her way of coping, or maybe she just didn't want to try it. This one never talked, and her form seemed to be one of as a statue. And that was fine with me. In a way, she reminded me of my brother. Both of them had a lot of similarities, as well as many differences. To me, they were both the same kind of apple on the outside, but different tasting on the inside. Okay, if you take what I just said the wrong way, I'll buck you into next harvest season. But back to her. As I said before, she arrived here a little over a month ago, but the poor girl was so banged and torn up that none of us thought this creature would survive. She was immediately rushed over to the hospital, where many of our doctors spent days upon days to keep her alive. She was in and out of surgery more times than I wish I could count. Once they were finished, she was as good as new. Well, physically at least. When she woke up, her eyes showed no signs of life in them. Like she was still asleep, but awake at the same time. Brought a chill down my spine to my tail. At first, I feared her. We knew nothing of this creature, and I would do anything to protect my family. But what I saw next changed all that. She looked at her hands for a few moments, which I thought at first were claws just like spikes, before I saw her whole form begin to shake. Why am I alive? Those were the first and last words she ever said. She began to cry into them. I don't know why, but after that, I wanted to protect her. A few days after that, I took her back to the farm. She seemed to follow me, so it was okay. Twilight originally wanted to take her to Candlelight for the princess's seat, but I told her it might not be a safe trip for her since she just got out of the hospital. It might have been a dumb excuse, but somewhere in me told me that she would disappear the second I looked away. Sad part was that I did seem to lose her on the way to inform the family. I panicked, looking for her, searching every tree and the barn in hopes nothing happened to her. Luckily though, I found her on that one hill, watching the sunset go down past the hills. She was so mesmerized with it, I thought it did some good for her. But that thought soon vanished when she didn't move from that hilltop. No matter how many times I pulled her to the house or somewhere else, if I took my eye off her for a split second, she was gone at a moment's notice and back on that hilltop, just staring across the horizon. I soon gave up with the idea of trying to force her. I don't think I could ever figure out what was going on through her head. At least, I thought I wouldn't. One rough day I had at the farm after dealing with some terrible cargo and a few swindlers trying to make a profit off our apples. I sat next to her and began running my mouth off. I don't know why, but I just needed to vent. I was angry at those ponies. I was angry at myself for almost being tricked, and I just needed a release. So, there I was, talking about my problems to someone who just stared off into the horizon, flailing my hooves as if I was going for a dramatic effect. But you know what? It felt good. I could never vent my feelings like this to my family. I never wanted them to worry about the farm or my problems. But with her, it felt really nice. After I finished venting, she didn't say anything, of course, but it felt like she did listen, and that was good enough for me. It became a daily thing for me. After working, I would go up to that hilltop and talk about my day. Even if it was just about work or my friends, she always seemed to listen, but never talking or judging me. And I liked that. I don't know if what I believed was true or not. Maybe she wasn't really listening. Maybe I was just making a fool of myself. But that didn't really bother me. Now, I just didn't leave this poor girl starving, if you were wondering. Every day I would leave a small basket of apples and a couple of bottles of water. Every now and then, I would make a pie or a sandwich, but I would only see a few bites in those, while the apples, she would only leave the stem and seeds. Rarity, of course, being generous and all, took up the challenge of making her some clothes. Now, at first they were all fancy clothes for events like the gala and such, but none of those were really comfortable from what I noticed for just sitting and relaxing. So I convinced her to make some average and loose style clothing for her. Boy, that day there was a lot of shouting out about looking your best and so on. I'm not saying she didn't look good in those dresses, even made my cheeks redder than the juiciest of apples, but I knew she wasn't comfortable sitting on that hilltop wearing those. So, when I go to grab what's left of the food I brought her earlier, I bring her a pair of clean clothes, 2 towels, and some soap. She'll usually wash herself in the nearby river on our farm. Don't know why she doesn't use the shower. Maybe they don't have them wherever she's from. At least since the river is on our land, I don't have to worry about peepers spying on her. I remember one night, Applejack and her friends came rushing into the house as if they saw a ghost, and the three soon started shouting all at once in full panic. I couldn't understand much of it, but I was able to make out 3 key words from their shout: girl, river, scratches. My heart sank as I quickly rushed past them and out the house, heading towards the river. My mind was racing with a million thoughts. I was afraid that a timber wolf or some ever-free forest creature attacked her while she was bathing. As soon as I reached the river, I was quickly relieved to see her just washing herself. But that soon changed when I finally saw her bare back. The scratches that Applejack and the others were talking about were the scars this girl had. They covered her entire back, from her neck all the way down to where her tail would be if she had one. And these looked much older than just the ones she got when she arrived. And from what I saw when she moved, that you couldn't reach much of it, I realized some pony hurt her. It broke my heart. I didn't know how long I stood there, but hot tears began running down my eyes. My hooves were burning. I wanted to hit something or some pony. I wanted whoever did this to her to pay. I wanted every last one who might have hurt her, all of them. I soon felt something rap against my neck, gently stroking my back. My thoughts immediately stopped. She was trying to calm me down. She must have turned around and saw me and realized how angry I was becoming. I don't know where those thoughts came from, those dark thoughts, and that scared me. But as quickly as they came, they quickly vanished because of this girl. I soon wrapped my 4 hooves around her and cried into her shoulder, not wanting to let go out of fear she'll disappear. After that night, I was haunted with nightmares. They were always blurry and dark, but I would see a shadow standing over me, standing just like her. This one bigger than her though, and the creature stood there with something that looked similar to a whip. After what felt like an eon, the creature would raise its arm and bring down the whip. I felt no pain, but I could hear the screams of agony, screaming, begging for forgiveness, screams of pleading for the pain to stop, only for more pain to be brought. I couldn't stop it. It always ended with my view moving in a different perspective, helplessly watching the girl as the girl was whipped over and over, unable to do anything. I would wake up in a cold sweat, shaking. I began checking outside my window, making sure she was still there, and every time I was thankful to see her. So after a month, we would go on our usual routine. And usually after my talks about my day, I would wrap her around the blanket and head off back to the farm. My nightmares were always the same though. I was never able to talk about them in fear of bringing something personal up. But today was different. When I turned around after reaching our home, I noticed that she was standing there, still holding the blanket I wrapped around her. The poor thing only made eye contact to the ground, but she still seemed to follow me. I smiled, knowing why she followed. I opened the door for her. I watched her as her movements stopped right before entering, her body slowly shaking, but I got behind her and gently nudged my head against her, slowly pushing her in. She didn't seem to stop me in any way, just accepted my gentle pushes. Once finally in, closing and locking the door behind us, I slowly made my way to my room up the stairs, her following me slowly. Once in the room, I put my hat along with my hairbands off to the side. Slowly getting in the bed, I patted the other side until she finally understood and got in as well. She moved uncomfortably around. Guessing she got used to sleeping in an awkward position on that hill. Letting out a little chuckle, I gently pulled her into my embrace, her head right under my chin. Poor girl was still slightly shaken, but soon it stopped, and all I could hear was her light breathing. I smiled, knowing she was gonna rest easy. And I knew for once too, that the nightmares wouldn't come tonight. I'll protect you. That was I'll Protect You. It was written by Lilsane and read by Autumn. Okay, you will have to forgive me for the squawking you are no doubt hearing in the background. That is our finches. Scribbler has her ticking clock. I have our family's finches. Hurrah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this reading. This was actually a reading I did for the month of LURVE, but I'm not sure whether or not I posted it too early originally, so I had to take that video down so I could just add this to it. I pray to God that it's not too early and not too late, however you want to put that. I don't know anymore. Anyway, as I was saying before, this reading, yes, this is for the month of LURVE. It's a very interesting fic. I will admit, when I first found this fic, I didn't realize that it was a romance, and I didn't realize that the woman was an adult. The human in this story is an adult, but I didn't know that. Yeah, and that took me for a loop when I actually realized it. But it made me want to do this reading, and therefore I have done this reading. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you're wondering about what Month of LURVE is, then I really question where on earth you've been in the fanfic reading community the last month. And just in case you don't know, and you want to see the list of all the other fic readers who have done stuff for Month of LURVE, not just fic readings, there have been comic dubs as well, but fic readings as well. So yeah. Anyway, I will be linking that below in the descriptions, as well as all the usual links. And I hope you will also go and listen to all the stuff done by other readers. And I'm going to stop talking because I've got to get this all edited. So until next time. Oh wait, did I want to say anything else? Not that I can think of. I've mentioned my opinion on the fic. Yeah, I honestly can't think of anything else to say. So, Oh, yes, I will be doing another reading at some point, but that's going to be an interesting one. That's a choose your own adventure kind of fic that I'll be doing, and I've chosen two different readings of it. I'll be doing two readings because they're both going to end differently. One of them's going to be a sort of dark ending when you think about it, but the other's going to be a cute ending. Uh, and I can't think of anything else to say, so until next time, later everybody!